Here we go.
The polysyllabic profundity proverb.
This one really overdoes it, but just for fun. Unremitting fealty to the métier sans interludes of hedonistic deflection renders John a hebetudinous hobbledehoy. Again, unremitting fealty to the métier sans interludes of hedonistic deflection renders John a hebetudinous hobbledehoy. Translation: all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. It seems to me that it may be fun and profitable to decipher this proverb word by word. It's filled with wild and wonderful words. Speaking of wild and wonderful words, please always remember to listen for vocabulary-building words as we progress through each lesson. Some words will really strike you as interesting and useful. Others will be important, but secondary in significance to you as you are learning and developing your own personal million-dollar vocabulary. Unremitting, U-N-R-E-M-I-T-T-I-N-G. It means ceaseless, as in unremitting fealty to his job. Unremitting. Fealty, F-E-A-L-T-Y, means loyalty or dedication, as in unremitting fealty to his job. Fealty. Métier, M-E-T-I-E-R. Métier means job or work, as in unremitting fealty to his métier. Métier. Interludes, I-N-T-E-R-L-U-D-E-S, means breaks or pauses. Interludes. Hedonistic, H-E-D-O-N-I-S-T-I-C. It means pleasure-seeking. Hedonistic. Deflection, D-E-F-L-E-C-T-I-O-N, means deviation, deflection. Renders, R-E-N-D-E-R-S, means to cause to become. Renders. Hebetudinous, H-E-B-E-T-U-D-I-N-O-U-S. It means dullness of mind, mental lethargy. Hebetudinous. Hobbledehoy, H-O-B-B-L-E-D-E-H-O-Y. It means boy or lad, hobbledehoy. Sans or sans means without, S-A-N-S, sans. The quintessential and often quoted instance of sans is from William Shakespeare's play As You Like It, wherein he delineates the 7 ages of man. It's worth hearing this wonderful, perspicuous poem written by the most perspicacious wordsmith of them all. By the way, did you notice that I used the word perspicuous, meaning lucid, clear, and perspicacious, meaning acutely discerning and perceptive? After listening, I hope you agree with my word choice in describing the depth and power of Shakespeare's mind. The 7 ages of man. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like a snail, unwilling to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pardoner, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good capon lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice, turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange, eventful history, is second childishness and mere oblivion. sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
The Distinguished Dozen. Three Latin invaders.
Ad, A-D. Two, toward, as in admissions, adhesive. Advocate, as in advocating change. Ad. Co, C-O. Together, as in coeducation, cooperation, coincidence. Co. Urb, U-R-B. City, as in suburb, urbane, urban. Herb.
Three little words.
Nub, N-U-B. A protuberance, knob, lump, or piece, or the gist or point of a story. For instance, the nub of Shakespeare's Seven Ages of Man is that we enter life and leave life in much the same condition. Nub. Vow, V-O-W, meaning an earnest promise, a pledge, an oath, a formal declaration, as in, she spoke her wedding vows. Vow. Vim, V-I-M, meaning ebullient, energetic, often used alliteratively as vim, vigor, and vitality. Melissa is filled with vim, vigor, and vitality. Vim.
Three Greek gifts.
Dec, D-E-C, is 10, as in decade, it's 10 years of course. Decathlon. Decimate, literally meaning to select by lot and kill every 10th man. Dec. Meta, M-E-T-A, is change or alter, as in metamorphosis, metabolism, metacognition. Meta. Eu, E-U, is good or well, as in euphemism, euthanasia, euphoria, eulogy. You.
Three purloined foreign language expressions.
Sans souci, S-A-N-S, S-O-U-C-I. That means without care. We named our lake cabin Sans Souci. Déjà vu, D-E-J-A-V-U. That means a feeling of reliving a past event or rehearing a past dialogue. There is Yogi Berra's famous remark, "This is déjà vu all over again." Déjà vu. Wunderkind, W-U-N-D-E-R-K-I-N-D. That means a wonder kid, a child prodigy. It's related to the word kindergarten, a child's garden. Barbara is a fabulous student, a true wunderkind.
The Lollapalooza.
Esurient, E-S-U-R-I-E-N-T, meaning hungry and or greedy, as in, the vagabond was esurient and emaciated. Esurient, E-S-U-R-I-E-N-T. Guten Tag, Mike Bennett here. I've had many titles in my life, kid, sergeant, boss, and doc, to name a few. My college students used the sobriquet Dr. B. Officially and ostentatiously, I'm introduced as Dr. J. Michael Bennett, Professor Emeritus of Rhetoric at the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities. That's Minneapolis and St. Paul. That's not as unique or as important as it sounds, though. I'm just one of the many thousands of professors and other members of the clerisy in the world. But I'll take it. It sounds good. It's true. And I think I earned it. My current title is a bit more exciting and surprising when you know that I was 28 years old, not 18 when I started college, and that I am a house painter and paper hanger by trade. That's one bodacious occupational change. Painting and decorating is a fine job. You spend your days making the world a more beautiful and pleasant place. I liked it, and I believe I was very good at it. But by my personal standards, professoring is better. It's a bit like Marion Michael Morrison, better known as the rough and ready actor John Wayne, is said to have quipped. "I've been rich, and I've been poor," he said. "Rich is better." Professors usually don't get rich, of course, but teaching and researching is a wonderful way to use your life. That's why I'm here with you today. There's no such thing as an ex-teacher, I think. One might say, old professors never die. They just get erased off the blackboard of life. Obviously, I've taken an alternate route or two in my walk through life, and for the most part, I've done it my way. Such a road takes longer to traverse. One gets bumped around a little, and stuck in a rut or two. But all roads lead to Rome, as they say, and my Rome was a tenured professorship at one of the largest and best universities in the world. What will your destination be like, do you think? And how will you get there? What will it take for you to get to your Rome? Will an excellent vocabulary help? I know it most assuredly will. A wonderful thinker and writer named Henry David Thoreau walked his own walk too. And in his powerful and inspiring book, Walden, he counseled the world about people like him and me, and very likely you. Thoreau said, "Why should we be in such desperate haste to succeed, and in such desperate enterprises? If a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps it's because he hears a different drummer. Let all persons step to the music which they hear, however measured or far away." Thoreau was truly a Renaissance man. He could write like Ralph Waldo Emerson and work like John Henry, the steel-driving man. Thoreau also said, "I would not talk so much about myself if I knew anyone else as well." I agree, and this text is more about me than I usually share, but I'm afraid, and I'm sorry, that I must stay the course until I've answered a question you probably have at this point in our present discussion. Something like, "Good for you, Mike, I'm happy for you. But in my own life, I want to do something positive and potent, just as you did. How'd you do it? How can I do it too?" I hope that's your question, because that's the one I'm going to answer. I think I did it with words. There was work, and luck, and tenacity, and pushing the envelope, and financial help, and lots of support, of course. But the oil that made the engine run, so to speak, was my somewhat accidental possession of a powerful, expressive, and always expanding vocabulary. When I graduated from high school, I thought I didn't need to learn any new things. I knew enough. I drove a super clean, hopped-up red Chevy convertible I called the Gingerbread Man. Remember, run, run as fast as you can, but you can't catch me. I'm the Gingerbread Man. Florida Power and Light Company had given me an easy, interesting, good-paying job running a device called an addressograph machine. I was OK plus at the beach, on the dance floor, and in the field with shotgun or fly rod. High school had been a piece of cake, when I went that is, and life was good. Very, very good. I was, to say the least, complacent. There was only one mental pursuit of any enduring value I did keep doing. I kept reading. I loved to read, and undoubtedly because I was good at it, I read a lot. Reading and contemplating what I had perused, especially the wonderful world of words, turned out to be my salvation, and was not the least of my dear mother's legacy to me. I still remember a long and inspirational conversation I had with my mother when I was about 12 years old. She was taking, or rather dragging, me to see Shakespeare's Henry IV. The playbill described a character in the play named Falstaff as Shakespeare's Scaramouche. When I queried her, my mom didn't know what a Scaramouche was either, so she helped me find that word in our old dictionary. It was the first word I ever looked up. Just in case you're interested, a Scaramouche is a stock character in old Italian comedy. He's always a somewhat lovable braggart and buffoon. Later playwrights, such as Shakespeare and Molière, patterned various characters in their work after the Scaramouche. Then we talked about the magic and power of being able to use just the right word. She told me about Humpty Dumpty, who, shortly before his fabled fall, cheekily and peevishly told Alice that a word could mean anything he wanted it to mean. She told me of some of the world's most influential and truly powerful people, the people who did their work with words, not guns or money. And she shared many other things about the fabulous benefits of owning and using an extensive and excellent vocabulary. She was wonderful, and she was spot on that rainy tropical day so long ago. I still love her for it. By the way, I enjoyed Henry IV, at least in part because I was confident of being the only kid in the theater who knew what a Scaramouche was. Sometimes I still am. I think that interlude with my mother is probably where my conscious love of reading and vocabulary began. Anyway, 10 years passed so quickly, I want to say suddenly, that I remember wondering from time to time in quiet moments on a boat or in a book, what happened to my wonderfully wide open and promising future? I was living a decent life, but one bereft of challenge, anticipation, or deep satisfaction. I was indubitably, verily, categorically stuck. I felt lost, confused, and ashamed. What was the matter with me? I entered 3 professions of which I had done very well, and then abandoned. I felt like a quitter or an ingrate or a bit of a vagabond. Working in a large power company office was interesting, fun, and lucrative. I left to join the Marines. Being a Marine was exciting, dangerous, and adventuresome. I left anyway. Then I learned a civilian trade. Painting for 50 or 60 hours a week with brush roller or spray gun, precariously poised on an extension ladder, swinging stage, or bosun's chair, was fast-paced and athletic. But after 5 years, the challenge was gone. The job had become banal for me, and I was weary and filled with a vague ennui. I felt I had to change directions yet again. So I decided that maybe I did need to learn more, and off I went to Miami-Dade Junior College. The college placement exam at that time was, I believe, the SAT. I squeaked into the 3rd quartile on the quantitative section at the 52nd percentile, a decent score for me, especially a decade after high school graduation. My score on the verbal section, however, was another matter. The counselors were astounded, and I was encouraged by my scoring at the 99th percentile. I missed one word, Misanthrope, a hater of mankind. I know it now. The rest is history. I didn't get to play college-level sports or belong to a fraternity, but I got one heck of a fine education. One academic scholarship followed another. Early on, I won a Ford Foundation Fellowship, which, with the GI Bill and some painting income, put me through a bachelor's, a master's, and a doctor's degree. From start to finish, my 12-cylinder vocabulary was the catalyst and the linchpin of my advancement. I had a vocabulary which started strong and grew more powerful each year of my life. My mom and dad did that same thing by spending many evenings in friendly dictionary competitions, and my sister and I caught the bug. We still have it. With a little help from my friends, a lot of help from my family, and an extraordinary amount of help from institutions of many kinds, I moved from painter to professor in 10 years. Not bad for an average guy armed only with a love of reading and a penchant for word knowledge. I'm sure it helps to be a Wunderkind, but you don't have to be. You do have to do the necessary work, and you must really want it, whatever it is, but you don't have to be a paragon of any kind. You too can build a powerful, expressive, and impressive vocabulary. This personal learning course will enhance and expedite the process. I have an abiding personal and professional interest in helping you develop the kind of vocabulary that will help you open doors, pass tests, and read, write, speak, and listen with alacrity and precision. Oh, and also to develop that skill and power in a few weeks, not a few years. I hope that sounds good to you, because it is good. The Chinese observe that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I hope this personal learning course is, for you, that step. It very well might be. Let's examine a few interesting words embedded in the preceding Horatio Alger story. Just as a note, Horatio Alger was a highly successful and extraordinarily influential late 19th century writer of rags to riches success stories for boys. He influenced me much. Now the words. Sobriquet, S-O-B-R-I-Q-U-E-T. It means an affectionate or humorous nickname. Sobriquet. Ostentatious, or here, ostentatiously. O-S-T-E-N-T-A-T-I-O-U-S. It refers to a pretentious display meant to impress others. Ostentatious. Clerisy. C-L-E-R-I-S-Y. It refers to the intelligentsia, the educational elite. Clerisy. Bodacious. B-O-D-A-C-I-O-U-S. A fairly new word combining bold and audacious, that is, fearlessly daring. Bodacious. Quip or quipped, Q-U-I-P or Q-U-I-P-P-E-D, refers to a brief, witty remark delivered offhand. Quip. Now in reverse order with definitions first. Won't you please pronounce these words out loud with me? A brief, witty remark delivered offhand is a quip. Bold and audacious, that is, fearlessly daring. Bodacious. Refers to the intelligentsia, the educational elite. Clerisy. A pretentious display meant to impress others. Ostentatious. An affectionate or humorous nickname. Sobriquet. Here's a one-question quick quiz. The correct spelling of sobriquet is S-O-B-R-I-Q-U-E-T. Well, we've now examined 5 excellent words. Let's look at a half dozen more. Enterprises. E-N-T-E-R-P-R-I-S-E-S. Those are pursuits or endeavors. Enterprises. Measured. M-E-A-S-U-R-E-D. Measured means music regular in rhythm and number, groupings of 2, 3, or 4 beats. Measured. Tenacity. T-E-N-A-C-I-T-Y. That means courage and perseverance. Tenacity. Boatswain's chair. It is spelled boatswain. B-O-A-T-S-W-A-I-N. But it's pronounced bosun. A bosun's chair is a short sitting board secured by ropes used by sailors and steeplejacks for repairs and painting. A bosun's chair. Banal. B-A-N-A-L. Commonplace, trite, ordinary, insipid. Banal. Again, backwards, definitions first. Please say them with me. Commonplace, trite, ordinary, insipid is banal. A short sitting board secured by ropes used by sailors and steeplejacks for repairs and painting is a bosun's chair. Courage and perseverance is tenacity. Music regular in rhythm and number, groupings of 2, 3, or 4 beats, that's measured. Pursuits or endeavors, they're enterprises. Let's try a one-question quick quiz. The correct spelling of bosun is B-O-A-T-S-W-A-I-N. Bosun. Okay, 5 more good ones. Perused. P-E-R-U-S-E-D. Means carefully, thoughtfully read and understood. Perused. Indubitably. I-N-D-U-B-I-T-A-B-L-Y. Means undoubtedly. Indubitably. Verily. V-E-R-I-L-Y. A somewhat archaic but still useful word meaning certainly or assuredly, verily. Categorically, C-A-T-E-G-O-R-I-C-A-L-L-Y. That means without exception or qualification, categorically. Ennui, a nice little word, E-N-N-U-I, ennui. It refers to listlessness and dissatisfaction resulting from lack of interest. Ennui. Again, with definitions first, carefully, thoughtfully read and understood is perused. Undoubtedly, indubitably, certainly or assuredly, verily, without exception or qualification, categorically, and listlessness and dissatisfaction resulting from lack of interest is ennui. One question, quick quiz. The French qua English word used here for listlessness from lack of interest is ennui, which is spelled E-N-N-U-I. Our last five coming up. Stay with me. Misanthrope, M-I-S-A-N-T-H-R-O-P-E. M-I-S-A-N-T-H-R-O-P-E, is one who hates mankind. Misanthrope. Paragon, P-A-R-A-G-O-N, a model or pattern of excellence or perfection. Paragon. Expedite, E-X-P-E-D-I-T-E, means to help, assist, facilitate, move along. That's expedite. Abiding, A-B-I-D-I-N-G. Abiding means strongly enduring, abiding. Alacrity, A-L-A-C-R-I-T-Y. That indicates lively action and sprightliness, alacrity. All right, let's go back through them with definitions first. Again, please say the word with me. One who hates mankind. Misanthrope. A model or pattern of excellence or perfection. Paragon. To help, assist, facilitate, move along. Expedite. Strongly enduring, abiding. Lively action and sprightliness, alacrity. The one question quick quiz. A model or pattern of excellence or perfection is referred to as a paragon. Listen to this tape again as soon as you can. It's full of powerful and power-producing words and thoughts. Repetition and competition, as you now know how to employ them, strengthens your mind and develops long-term retention of the knowledge you've acquired in this lesson and all the lessons. And the words featured in this lesson are used again in different and we think interesting ways in your playbook. Sequester, that is, set aside 30 minutes for yourself and play with the information therein for true mastery learning. Now for the benediction. To speak of mere words is much like speaking of mere dynamite. Auf Wiedersehen.